He's been a role model for me and so many other, not just men in dance, but all of us in dance. And he is a living legacy. And so we honor your past. We graciously appreciate your present. We look forward to your future. And a most deserving person for the Lifetime Achievement Award presented by National Dance Education Organization, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Daniel Lewis.
I don't know how I'm going to follow Mutt and Jeff there. I do have a few things to say. Can you all hear me all right? Yeah. I'm saving paper, I'm using technology. It's hard when I talk in front of two groups of people, the NAS people and NDEO, because you're my colleagues, and you're the hardest to address because I have such respect and love for the work you do. But I'm going to try real hard now. And Risa Steinberg, I don't know if you know who she is when I did my last performance in Moscow and returned to the States, took my dance belt, was going to have it bronzed. I shedded it with great pleasure. Anyway, let me start. This lecture, a little talk I'm going to do is on luck. That's better. I've been lucky my entire life. Dance is my choice of language, and it has been for my entire life, ever since I'm 5 years old. And the things that were said are absolutely true. What you didn't mention is that Ray Heatherton was the Merry Mailman, the father of Joey Heatherton. And I did a lot of shows with him, and I actually danced with Rin Tin Tin. Old enough to know who Rin Tin Tin was. He had 4 legs, I had 2, and I was much better. He got more money. She said that I was born with a club foot, which is true. So that's my first luck in life. My parents took me to a doctor. The second luck was that the doctor was the father of Judith Dunn, who danced with Merce, and knew that dance was good, and recommended those tap classes, and my life changed from that point on. I led a difficult life in Brooklyn. It was not the in thing in 1948, 49 to be a boy dancing. I was beat up a couple of times. I was accused of being La Twinkle Toes on a regular occasions. I was shunned upon. I was even expelled from junior high school for being unpatriotic because I refused to dance in the senior show. And my parents had to come in and get me back into school. And when they asked me why I wouldn't dance in the senior show, I said I didn't want to get beat up. You know, to me, it's simple. So the next bit of luck happened when my mom happened to see an article in the New York Times about this school in New York called the High School of Performing Arts, where I could be with kids that danced, that appreciated what I did and I appreciated what they did. And I got my first taste of what dance really was. One of my teachers is sitting right there, Ann Hutchinson. I was also a junior notator in those days, too. David Wood, who was my teacher there one year, said, oh, come to Connecticut College, that's the ADF, the past, and brought me up as his demonstrator. And luck again, Paul Taylor needed a dancer. Someone didn't show up. So in my junior year in high school, I was dancing with Paul Taylor Company. I learned the piece that day. It was Insects and Heroes. Some of you may not know the work.
Wow.
I learned it that day, did it. Paul thanked me, gave me a small little check, and it was done. And I went back to New York. It was then I was graduating from high school performing. I was wondering what I was going to do with my life, and I got a letter from Uncle Sam with 2 tokens for the subway to go do a physical. The Vietnam War had broken out. There was all sorts of things going on. And I was taking a class at the Graham Studio, and some of you may remember Ed Millington, the pianist for Martha, who said, "Go to Juilliard, you get a 4-year deferment." Luck again. I went to Juilliard. We auditioned that next day or something. It was September. They took me. Within a year, I was in the Lamone Company at Juilliard. I got exposed to so many incredible people between the High School of Performing Arts and Juilliard that my life just took off, and I had a great career. I did my last performance in Moscow, but before that, I performed everywhere in the world. Before kings, queens. We opened Lincoln Center. You know, how many people have had the opportunity to be the first dance company at Lincoln Center? And that was all of 1920 at the time. So luck again brings me all this. When I decided to quit dancing and go back to Juilliard and teach some more, I sent the company off to France, they went to. Luck again had it that Jose was getting tired of teaching and wanted to just spend the rest of his life choreographing. And Martha turned to me and said, "Would you take over all of Jose's classes?" Luck again. I've been a very lucky person. During my lifetime, I've had 3 mentors. How many people get 3 mentors? I had Jose Lamone. I had Anna Sokolow, who worked for me for 12 years. I commissioned 7 of his ballets with my dance company. I had Martha Hill, who prepared me for the next career in my life, which is when I moved to the South. And everyone told me I was crazy, and I told Joe Polisi, the president of Juilliard, that I'm leaving. And he said, "No, you're not. Just take a year off. If you want to come back, we'll keep your job for you." I called him in December and said, "I'm not coming back, Joe. The weather is fabulous." And I created a school that's very successful now. You know, 1/6 of the Alvinelli Dance Company are graduates from the New World School of the Arts. 1/4 of the Graham Company are graduates from the New World School of the Arts. But I don't want to go on bragging. I'm going to get to a point about my luck. And the luck had it with the New World School of the Arts that Martha Hill saw an ad for a position, and she was a trooper. She's been trying to get me for years to go to Australia. She said, "Pioneer country, go to Australia, start a company, do something." So when this one came up, it was more feasible, so I took it. She said that I could do wonderful things, and she was right. She trained me absolutely right to do it. So I'm very, very, very lucky. Now let me get to the moral of my story, because we want to get on to performances. I get calls from corporate people all the time, offering me lots of money to teach their executives creativity. And I tell them, it's too late. You learn creativity, or you develop creativity when you're 1, 2, 3, 4 years old. Through K3 really is when it all happens. I'm a fool, I should take the money and do something. But I always tell them the story, and some of you probably know the story, but I think it's very important, and it'll bring me to my conclusion. About the dance teacher teaching creative movement to 5-year-olds. And she always ended the class by lying on the floor by the door. The students would line up, and they would run and leap over her out into the hallway. And they loved this moment of the class. So she lies down, she tells there were girls at the time, I can't lie, there were no men in the class. Tells them to line up, and then she says, "Oh, when you jump over me this time, I want you to scream." And they all go, "Way!" They're all excited, you know, and they're lined up, ready to scream, and the first little girl walks up to her and says, "When I scream, do you want me to scream with my voice or with my body?" Oh. This kid is going to be the best corporate leader in the world. And it's because of the work you do that it's going to make it possible. It's because of the work that NDEO does in terms of getting dance, theater, music, all the arts into education, makes a difference at that early age. We've got to make sure to keep it going. Now, the moral of my story. What would happen if I was born with a good foot? Where would I be today? What would I be doing? Where would those dancers that were dancing with Alvinelli be? Would they be? Would they be someone else? Would there be a New World School of the Arts as popular as this? I don't know. Other things would have happened. But God, it would have changed the world. It would have changed me. I could be a gas station attendant for all I know. I was not very good in school. I did not read and write well. Movement was my choice of language. And I thank you for this award. It means very much to me. I'm going to do something else. I'm going to show you a 2-minute video, which it was done, I sponsored a Dance for Life performance, to support AIDS research and stuff. And they gave me this video they made for me. So it's only like 2.5 minutes.
There it is.
That's Yiddish theater. That's me. High School of Performing Arts. Kathy Posen. Australia, Laura Glenn from the Long Company. Carla Maxwell, Lama Linche. There is a time. Doris Humphrey's Night Spell. The Unsung. Anna Sokolow. Night Spell again. Jennifer Muller and I did a CBS television special that Jose choreographed called And David Wept. My son couldn't get over me wearing a dress. Diversion of Angels. Dead Heat by Matthew Diamond. That's Matthew on my left. Night Spell again, one of my favorite works to dance. Anna Sokolow's Rooms. And that is my hair. Teaching at Juilliard, teaching at the first studios at New World. Teaching at the new studios at New World. My life in 2 minutes.